Well, my flight was delayed. It's like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, so I'm very tired, but I'm in Cyprus now and I have a very good feeling about this. I don't know, I just have a good feeling. So I'm gonna get some sleep and we'll check out the town and it should be fun. Good morning. So it's 11 o'clock now and the weather is nice and my apartment is nice, so I'm optimistic, but I haven't seen anything yet. So we're heading into the city. I think the biggest factor of whether I'm gonna have fun or not is the price of everything. I don't know what the cost of living is here. So we will find out. The local streets turned touristic almost immediately, so I can tell that I'm kind of in the city center. But it's not a bad atmosphere. It feels pretty cool here. So we'll go a little bit further in, check out the sea, check out some shops, get some food. Should be fun. It is March 2nd, and there's a lot of tourist kiosks here that are empty, so it tells me that maybe this is kind of the off season. It is a bit windy, but I think the temperature is great. So it's a good time to be here when it's not so crowded and probably not so expensive right now, so hopefully it'll work out well for me. Well, the waterfront is what you might expect. It's nice, but it's not very unique. So if you like that sort of thing, great, spend your time there, but for me, I'm not that interested. I mean, I'll probably walk here every day, but let's go more on the interior, look for some culture. It's about 4 p.m. now, and when the sun goes behind the clouds, it gets a little bit cold. We're heading down south. There's this long walkway here that connects 2 different beaches, so we're gonna check out this other beach and see what it's all about. It's a lot less busy down here, but still kind of the same vibe. Some beach, some streets with shops and cafes, still touristy, but definitely like less dense down here. I'm sure in the summertime this place is probably really busy, but at this time of year it's dead. Try the water real quick. It looks cold. Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. Whew. Well, I found one thing that's great. It's an adult jungle gym, and one of the best I've seen. It's always nice to get a free workout when you're traveling. That is so cool. It's a rescue hovercraft. The city in Cyprus that I really wanted to stay in is called Paphos, but unfortunately it's really far from the airport, so I would have had to stay in Larnaca for a couple nights anyways, like when I arrived and before I leave, so it's just very inconvenient, but I think I can get to Paphos for one day. Now it is a 2.5 hour bus ride and I have to connect with 2 different buses, so it's gonna be a long trip. It's on the other side of the country, so hopefully I can figure out the bus routes and get over there, and then hopefully I don't miss the bus to come back here tonight. Otherwise I might have to stay there overnight. But it should be a fun day, so let's see how it goes. So that actually took 3 hours, so that's half my day gone already, but still have the afternoon, so let's make the most of it. Well, we're pretty much in the city center of Paphos, and I'll check this out later, but before I run out of time, I want to check out some of the archaeological parks. They have at least 2 here. I don't know if I'll have time to do both of them, but let's do that first. All right, so I made it through the city down to the waterfront. The city's pretty vast, but it's not really worth filming, but I think it's more interesting here. But the goal here is the archaeological park, which should be really close, so we'll go there now. Well, it's a large site, so I've got plenty of exploring to do. But the cool thing is that it's kind of on this little peninsula by the water, so it's got a nice atmosphere to it. Are you an archaeologist? Yeah! I filmed a lot here, and I'm going to try to condense it so that it doesn't take too long to watch. So I'll start by saying that the highlight of this site is the mosaics. Now, some of them are extremely elaborate, very beautiful designs, and they're well preserved. They're kind of protected from the weather and from people. But then other parts of the mosaics are just completely exposed, and you can walk on them and touch them. And I do have mixed feelings about that, because I think the ones that are exposed, it's cool to be able to get close to history and touch it. But obviously, over time, it's going to get deteriorated and run down. So people have to be careful if they're visiting the site not to cause any excess damage to the parts that you can get close to. But all in all, the mosaics are beautiful, and I really appreciate them. And the rest of the archaeological site's kind of cool too. And one of the other highlights for me was there's this lighthouse up on the hill, which is cool in itself. But underneath the lighthouse was like a little tunnel. And I tried to explore under there. I know it's kind of stupid, but that's what I like to do. Unfortunately, there's a very tight fit. You'd have to get pretty dirty, and it also kind of smelled like cat pee, so I went in partially. I didn't get all the way to the end, unfortunately, but I think things like that are really cool. Hi, hello. You can see the lighthouse up on this hill here, so it kind of gives you a scale of how big this park really is, because the lighthouse is kind of sort of in the middle, so I mean it's pretty massive. Well, I've determined I don't really have time to explore the city. It takes like another hour to get back to the city center, so let's hang out at the waterfront. It's actually pretty cool that they had the gap in the fence there. It's like they want you to come back here and walk around the castle. I was pretty sure it was gonna be fenced off. But I'm back in Larnaca now, and this is my last night in Cyprus. So let's kind of summarize how everything was. 4 full days here. It's been good. It's a beautiful country with the beaches and the history. The atmosphere is just great, and I think price-wise it's very fair. Maybe because it's kind of like not the peak season, it's a little bit more affordable. I think it's going to get more expensive in the summertime, although I'm not quite sure about that. But for me, I like being here at this time of year because it's not too crowded and not too expensive. There's a lot to see and do here. Larnaca is kind of small, but Limassol, which is about an hour away, and then Paphos, where I went to, that's about 3 hours away. They both have archaeological sites, nice beaches and waterfronts. And then there's like the north side of the island, and then the capital city that's kind of in the center that I didn't get to go to. So you could spend more time here. But as for me, I feel pretty satisfied with the time I had. So time to move on. And I'm going to Albania next, which I know and love. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. just kind of get into a routine with friends, and we'll see what happens. But I'll keep you updated. I'll see you later.